Hey, it's Jen Vax with YourColorStyle.com, and in this video, we're going to talk about your best shades of yellow to wear. Now, a lot of people have a hard time wearing yellow, and they believe that they just simply can't wear yellow. But I think that everyone can wear yellow, but it really depends on the type of yellow. And so we're going to dig a little deeper into what that means and how it applies to you so you can figure out where your best shade of yellow is. Now, in your color style, there's a bright color wheel and a soft color wheel. And if you're familiar with the methodology, you'll hear me say bright and soft all the time. When I say bright, it means that you are a person that can wear colors from the bright color wheel best. And if you're soft, it means that you wear colors from the soft color wheel best. So I broke this presentation down into bright first and then into soft because the yellows are very, very different between the two color wheels. So as you can see here, looking at the bright color wheel, the yellows are right here. Yellow, fun fact, is a primary color and therefore is a universal color, meaning that once you figure out whether you're wearing soft yellows best or bright yellows best, yellow still is a color that can be worn regardless of your undertones. That's what it means when I say it's a universal color. If you have warm undertones or cool undertones, it doesn't matter. What really matters is that you're getting the right chroma. So bright or soft. So we're going to start with bright, and you can see it right here. And here is another way of looking at it. Now, these colors come from the digital color palettes of all the bright color types in your color style. These are also the colors that come from the color fans, but I've combined them together so you can see the range and how this works. So in the middle is neutral. You can see the number 6 on there, and that's in alignment with the color wheel here. It's 6 yellow. It is the purest version of yellow. And when I say that, it's because there's no red added and no blue added. So it's very neutral. It's the truest yellow, which is really honestly pretty challenging to find in the real world. I always find that primary colors like red, blue, and yellow, as true as they can be worn by anyone, but usually they are a little on the warm side or a little on the cool side. So what do I mean when I say that? So in the center here, if in a perfect world, is the true yellow. It is the primary color yellow. You can see here where I have bright yellow. It is the brightest, truest yellow. And another fun fact is that yellow is the brightest color in the spectrum. So if you really want to stand out in a crowd, wear bright yellow. As you add red to yellow, and you'll notice that if yellow is here and you're adding red, you're going to go this way along the color wheel, and the color immediately starts to warm up and go towards orange. And as you add blue, it's going to go this way and start to tip over into the cool side of the color wheel. You're cooling the color down when you add blue, and you quickly get to green. You get to green very quickly when you add blue to yellow. And so you'll notice that I don't go very far in the examples here of shades of yellow once you add blue. It quickly turns to a green and a yellow green and a lime green, and I don't really feel like that's a shade of yellow. You could argue with me and say that that is, but for purposes of trying to wear what we in our head think of as yellow, I'm not going to be sharing so much of the greens. I already have a best shades of green. There's another video out on YouTube on the best shades of green you can wear, and you will see the other side of the neutral yellow for those greens. I do, however, put in here chartreuse, which is just a little bit of blue added to that bright yellow. As you can see, it quickly gets to a green, and it's a very challenging color to wear. Not too many people can wear chartreuse. Someone who's bright, cool, and deep wears chartreuse really, really well. And that's ironic because it's a person with cool undertones, but it's just a color that seems to work really well. And if you look at where 7 is on the color wheel here, we are already moving. It's about right here. We're already moving towards the cool side of the color wheel. When you add red, as I said before, you warm it up, and you can see we quickly start to get to more of an orange feel. So we've got the golden yellows here. OY stands for orange yellow. Long story about the naming conventions of these hues around the color wheel, but OY means orange yellow, and what that means is that it's just a little bit warmer than the true yellow. You can see here that then it gets to marigold, which is a very true golden yellow, and we start to tip over towards orange. So we stop at the hue number 5 on the color wheel. You also see light to deep, and that means that starting with the purest color, which is right here, you add black to darken and white to lighten. Now when you add white and you go light, it's just a lighter version of yellow. It's pretty easy to look at and figure out. What's unique here is that when you add black to yellow, it starts to turn green. Maybe not the truest form of green when you talk about blue plus yellow that makes green, but it absolutely turns into a version of green. Try it with paint. Get your yellow paint out and add a touch, I'm talking about a hair of black. It doesn't take much, and you start to get these green shades. It's not green. It's actually just a darker yellow. A dark yellow turns into a very warm ish olive green. So you can see here that it starts to go green. Now I use the word warm, even though I just said that this hue of 6 is neutral, but it feels warm compared to, say, a muted, soft, grayed olive green. So when you look in the stores and you see olive green, you start to really open your eyes. You'll start to see olive greens that are have a lot more yellow in them and feels like more warmth. And then you'll see olive greens that are very grayed out and almost have a cool quality to them. And they're both likely this true hue of 6 with some black added. And if it's kind of grayish, it was probably muted first and then some black added. All right, so now that you've got the lay of the land, my rule of thumb is that if you describe a color in the way that a color that looks good on you, that it will likely also be your color type and vice versa. So for me, I am bright, warm, and light. I can wear brighter colors best. I have warm undertones and I have a light coloring. Therefore, a bright, warm, and light yellow is going to look really good on me. And that would be starting at the 6 going left. Those warmer golden yellows and lighter versions of it are going to look best on me. Someone who's medium will likely wear some of these golden mustards and butterscotches really, really well. And someone who's deep is going to be able to wear some of these deeper colors very well. Okay, so you can kind of look at it that way. However, I have broken it down for you. So this is a slide from a guide called The Best Shades of Yellow to Wear. And each slide in here shows the color type and then the best shades of yellow for that color type. So you can scan through, find your color type, find your best shades of yellow. All right. So I just showed you the bright colors. So let's look at the soft colors just so you can get a full picture of yellows, because this is where I feel gets really, really interesting. Because if you're looking at those yellows that I showed you, and especially if you don't wear brighter colors well, you're probably thinking, well, I can't wear yellow. But I would disagree. So when we look at the soft color wheel, this is a color wheel where the colors are muted. They are have a grayish quality, an earthier quality, definitely softer. You can see the difference here. There's no real bright tones and jewel tones in here. And over here, as before, that number 6, this is the yellow on the soft color wheel. It doesn't really look yellow, does it? It looks sort of dirty and grungy, but that is a muted yellow. So let me show you here. In the middle here is a neutral 6, and it's slightly muted first, and then as you can see, we darken and lighten it. So you see, we still have the olive greens here, but now they are much more grayish in quality, and they are going to suit people with cool undertones a lot better, especially for soft and cool. These grayish olive greens look really great on people with softer tones and cooler undertones. But this would not work as well as on someone who is bright and warm. Now I have olive green tops of all varieties. I love the color olive green. I will tell you, because I am bright and warm, this type of olive looks much, much better on me. But I do have a couple tops that are more like this because that's what you see in the stores. That's what you find. It's not that it looks bad on me, but it's not as flattering as the brighter colors. So as you can see here, we've got these muted yellows, and down here we've got a light lemon yellow and pastel yellow that comes actually from the bright color wheel. And the reason that I did that is because as you go lighter with yellow, it starts to really kind of lose any sort of quality of color. And I have found that people who are light, soft cool and light, and soft warm and light, that can wear those lighter colors actually need a little bit of a brighter yellow. Otherwise, it just sort of kind of drains them and washes them out. So these are actually added here for those lighter color palettes. They're a little bit lighter. They're not too bright because you've already added white to the color, which has softened it already. But I'd like it a little bit brighter on someone who's very fair. So that's why you see those here. And then as you add red to warm it up, we start to get into those earthier colors. And notice there's no real bright hues in here, but you've got those earthier, more golden tones in here. And those are going to look great on people who are soft, warm, light, medium, and deep. I don't really go cool here, again, because you go quickly into green. And it doesn't really look like yellow anymore, and that is in a different video, as I said before, for your best shades of green. So if you are someone with cool undertones and feel like you can't wear yellow, it's probably because you might look better in what is considered a muted yellow, which is clearly more of a cooler quality, grungier, and more of an olive green quality all the way through. Just like I showed you before with the the bright color types, we also have the soft color types in here. Each of the soft color types has the best shades of yellow in here, so you can just again scan the guide and find your best shade of yellow. The link to the guide is in the description of the video on YouTube. If you're looking at this on the blog, there will be a form right below it so that you can submit your name and email and get that guide for free. It will give you the download instructions to get that guide. The guide is free. Again, it's in the link in the description with the video and also out on the blog page.